It's been reported that at any given time, there are 35 active serial killers in America. Let's take a look at 5 serial killers that were active recently and caught after 2010. Keys was born in Utah in 1978. He was raised in a Mormon family and was homeschooled. In 1998, he entered the military and served until 2001, and he was given several decorations and awards. His friends claim he was a person who kept to himself and was usually quiet. In 2012, Keys was arrested for murder. After the arrest, a lot of new information was uncovered. He admitted to investigators that he killed 4 people in Washington. These claims are now the subject of an active investigation by the state police and the FBI. He also confessed to committing bank robberies in New York and Texas and told authorities that he burglarized a Texas home and set it on fire. In April 2009, Keys claimed to have killed a woman in New Jersey and buried her near Tupper Lake in upstate New York. He was also linked to the deaths of Bill and Lorraine Currier. He reportedly broke into their house on June 8th and tied them up before driving them to an abandoned farmhouse. He then shot Bill before violating and strangling Lorraine. The last murder he committed was of Samantha Koenig, for which he was arrested. He kidnapped her from her workplace on February 1st, 2012, stole her debit card and other property, and then murdered her the next day. After her death, Keys left on a cruise out of New Orleans, leaving the body in a shed. When he returned home, he took a photo of her body with the 4-day-old issue of Anchorage Daily News, maintaining the illusion that she was still alive so that he can ask for a ransom. After demanding $30,000 in ransom, he dismembered the body and sank it in a lake north of Anchorage. An FBI report said Keys burglarized 20 to 30 homes across the United States and robbed several banks between 2001 and 2012 to fund his hobby of killing people. He may be linked to as many as 11 deaths in the US, and there might be even more victims outside the country. On December 2, 2012, while in jail, he committed suicide by cutting his wrists and then strangling himself. He left a suicide note where he wrote things like, "You may have been free, you loved loving your lie, fate had its own scheme, crushed like a bug you still die." Ritchie was born on November 4, 1976 and grew up in Anchorage. During his high school years, he was an excellent athlete, played on the 1994 state championship football and the basketball teams. He scored 1,200 on his SATs and left for college in 1994. After a semester at West Virginia University, he dropped out and returned to Alaska and became involved in the drug trade and dogfighting. Over the following 7 years, Ritchie was arrested a number of times, predominantly for drug-related offenses. He was arrested for the last time in Alaska in 2005, when he was apprehended while committing home invasion with plastic handcuffs and 2 handguns in his possession. After serving 2 years in custody, he resided in Alaska. His first 2 confirmed murders happened during the early morning of July 3, 2016, when he shot 21-year-old Brianna Foisey and 41-year-old Jason Netter Sr. The 2 bodies were discovered together along a bike path near Ship Creek. The third recorded murder, committed by Ritchie, took place 26 days later, on July 29th. Shortly after 3 a.m., Ritchie shot 21-year-old Trevon Kendall Thompson multiple times while he was riding his bicycle home from work. Shortly after Thompson's murder, the Alaska State Crime Lab confirmed that the same murder weapon was responsible for Foisey and Netter's murders. On August 28, Ritchie shot dead 34-year-old Kevin Turner and 25-year-old Brian DeHuston in Valley of the Moon Park. On November 12, 2016, Officer Salau was responding to an unrelated report of an unpaid taxicab when he spotted Ritchie walking down the street at 4:30 a.m. He asked Ritchie over his megaphone if he had seen the taxicab crime, but Ritchie kept on walking. When he repeated the question, Ritchie drew his Colt Python and opened fire on Salau, hitting him at least 4 times. During this confrontation, another officer fired upon Ritchie, who was killed by a number of gunshot wounds. Officer Salau survived the ordeal after going through a 7-hour surgery. Following Ritchie's death, the Colt Python on his person was sent to the Alaska Crime Lab, where it was confirmed to have been the murder weapon responsible for the deaths of all the mentioned victims. Vann was born on March 21, 1971 in Indiana. He was married for 16 years to a woman who was about 30 years older than him. When 19-year-old Africa Hardy was found strangled in a Motel 6, authorities used Hardy's phone records and located Vann. He was apprehended on October 18, 2014. After being arrested, Vann started to confess about his involvement in Hardy's killing and stated that he was involved in other killings. In total, he listed 6 names of the victims he had killed. All of the bodies were found in abandoned houses after Vann had led the police to the said locations. Vann is currently charged with 4 counts of murder, robbery, rape, and attempted murder. His trial is set to begin on October 22, 2018, with jury selection being scheduled to begin September 17, 2018. Madison was born on October 15, 1977 to Diane Madison and John Baldwin, who resided in Ohio. On July 19, 2013, police responding to reports of a foul smell investigated a garage leased to Madison and discovered a decomposing body lying inside. 2 more bodies were found the following day, one in a backyard and the other in a basement of a vacant house. The bodies of 3 women were found, and each were wrapped in plastic bags. After obtaining a search warrant, police entered Madison's apartment and found further evidence. After a brief standoff with the police at his mother's house, Madison was taken into custody. On July 22, 2013, Madison was charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder. On May 5, 2016, Madison was found guilty, and on June 2, 2016, Madison was sentenced to death. Elias was born on August 29, 1976, in Israel. As a child, he moved to the United States with his family, and until 2008, he worked as a mental health technician. Police and prosecutors claim that between May and August 2010, Elias would drive around late at night, approach small-framed men who were walking alone, and then stab them, usually in the chest or stomach. He is suspected in more than 17 attacks. Elias's alleged victims have been mostly black, and the police in Leesburg suspect the attacks may have been racially motivated. He was arrested by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers on August 11, 2010 in Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport while preparing to board a Delta Airlines flight bound for Tel Aviv. On June 25, 2012, Elias was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe for more content.